We may have like 4 videos today. We're going to have a few videos because I got some talking to do. So, I've been wanting to get out and do something here for a while. Been kind of, I've had, I just feel like pinned down a bit. You know what I mean? I've been wanting to get out and do something. So decided, uh, I decided I'm going to go ahead and do this military march, this Ruck, and it's 50 clicks with the rucksack and uniform, and it's next month. So I'm going to do this 50 click Ruck. I decided I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm getting old and I want to, but I'm antsy. I need to do something like that because it's in my blood anyway. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to be doing a march, Ruck March next month. And it's going to be 50 clicks, which when I was young I'd do 50 clicks standing on my head, So I did, one time I did 60 clicks, and I don't even know how much weight I had. It was just a lot of weight. I did 60 clicks, a lot of weight. That was pretty tough. But anyway, the thing is that I'm gonna do this Ruck March, and before I get too much older, I want to go ahead and get one more out of the way, and I'm gonna see about doing a little videography as well. I got my camera that I use for these videos is very simple. It doesn't have a lot of memory, and it doesn't have a SD card, a memory card. It doesn't have that. It's just a basic camera for capturing a bit of video and sharing it with friends and family. That's all it is. Just a little thing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see about some kind of a camera where I can swap out video cards, right? See, this is the thing. It's like in the last video I told, and I've told you guys a few videos now, about these mint condition rucksacks. See, this is one of the reasons why I want to move those. So I have some play money to get a decent camera, go ahead and get my beehives, up and going and things like that. So, in life you got to give something to get something. So this is one of the reasons why I want to sell those 4 rucksacks, because if I sell those 4 rucksacks, I can, accrue some things like a little bit of a better camera, so things like that. But anyway, I'm going to see if I can't figure something out for a camera with a video card. And if I could do that, and I'll do this Ruck March next month, and probably be an overnighter as well, probably be a bivouac. And since it's in a civilian setting, I'll probably have pepper spray, bear spray for self-defense weapon against, wild animals and whatnot. Okay. But I have to wear military uniform, and I have to and I have to have a ruck on with weight, which obviously that's a no-brainer, because you're gonna want to eat and be comfortable even if you're rucking, right? You're gonna want to stop, brew up, possibly have something to eat, you know, little snacks, John Wayne crackers, something like that, right? Then, of course, you had to have ruck weight, and you guys know the drill. Plus, I'm going to have to think about my footwear because my old military boots are wore out. I mean, they're actually, the leather is coming apart from the seams, you know. Yeah, I'll think about that, but I won't go too wild because money is tight. Money is a premium right now these days. Well, what else do I want to say about that Ruck March thing? I will it's quite possible that I will be utilizing medium Alice. A medium Alice, pimped out by me, obviously. And my belt kit will probably be my Tiger Stripe belt kit that I set up. Okay, because we're in spring now. We're officially in spring. It'll be more spring-like next month than it is now. So I will probably be sporting my Tiger Stripe belt kit and medium Alice. Okay. Now, I have a medium Alice, no frame, in olive green that I also have camouflage bits and bobs on the outside, right? I'd originally thought about doing that, but then recently I had been looking at possibly getting a new M81 medium Alice, right? Because they're still available out there, and hooking that up with a bunch of pouches and stuff, right? And of course, I want to be able to use a frame in some situations. So I have an Alice frame somewhere around here. I don't have it at hand because I wasn't planning on picking it up and showing it to you because everybody knows what an Alice frame looks like, right? And it's got the kidney pad belt on it. But it's got a newer one without all the big clunky steel bits, right? So I did upgrade that to a newer one on that Alice frame. But I thought about getting a second Alice frame. You know, one of the new higher speed ones at some point. I'm thinking about getting a newer Alice frame and put it with the camouflage one whenever I set up the M81 camouflage one, right? Yeah. So this Ruck March thing, obviously you have to meet minimum weight requirement, which is pretty low in my opinion. And then it has to be 25 or 50 clicks. Okay. They have an overnighter, which is basically double your distance. So if you do 25 clicks, then it's 50 clicks. So it's 25 clicks out, 25 clicks back, right? So that's what I'm looking at. So overall 50 clicks with an overnight in between. It's a recce. So you're going to be bivouac overnight. Simulation of, doing a recce, taking notes, making it back to the world. And let's see here. I'll be taking the radio. Before I go, I'll show you guys what I'm going to take, alright? Because I know everybody would be kind of interested in this stuff. So, I invited a buddy of mine along, but he's hemming and hawing. You know, oh, I got work, I got this, I got that. Okay, well, you know, he's a big survivalist prepper type. So I told him, I said, look, you know, I have a lot of real world experience. I told him, I said, you have a lot of theory, but you got to put that into practice. You know, you got to push that envelope. You have to be able to take your stuff and prove it out in the real world. It has to be proven. You got to proof it. You know, you got to take your theories and you got to proof it, right? So I'm hoping he'll watch this and then he'll say, yeah, I guess I can make some time, you know. And if he comes along, then maybe I'll have that camera I was talking about. Maybe I'll get him to let me borrow a camera, because I know he's got a couple. Yeah, so I got to sort out my footwear. I need some new boots, or I need some boots. I need something for boots, right? Don't necessarily need new boots, but I got to sort my footwear out. And I need to sort out my medium Alice rucksack. And like I said, I'm gonna be running my tiger stripe belt kit that I sorted out last year. I was putting that all together. I'll be wearing that. Now, what we got to understand here is this is on and off terrain. It's on and off road terrain, right? Multi-terrain. So, the way that I've chosen could quite possibly be fairly rough. Not, you know, taxingly, like up a mountain, down a mountain, up, down. No, not like that. But just kind of rough terrain. But it has to be intermixed with some civilian terrain, you know, like walk across a road type thing, you know, going from point A to point B. Oh, you gotta cross this road, you know, you need to do this, you need to do that, right? So, been mapping it out. I was mapping it out on a computer. Oh no. Then I've got MGRS map for my area, military grid reference system map. And so between those two things, I'll be getting it all sorted out the way I want. I'm going to go ahead and shut this down now because I'm about a minute out. Yeah. So the old military march might be my last stand before the big one, the revolt, right? You guys thought I was going to get through this without mentioning the revolt or the rapture, right? That's what you thought? Well, you were wrong. Anyway, I'm going to come back in another one. We're going to talk about some more stuff, alright? So fellas and fellettes and young Boy Scouts of America like folks, so I'll see you in the next one.